Growing up in Australia during the 1960s was like stumbling into a golden era, a time when life felt simpler. The sun always seemed to shine, and the only thing you had to worry about was whether your Vegemite toast would land butter side down. For those of us who were there, boomers, as the youngsters call us, it was a magical time, filled with unique experiences that shaped us into the resilient, laid-back Aussies we are today. Here are 5 reasons why growing up down under in the 60s was, without a doubt, the best. 1. The beach was our backyard. Australia's coastline was practically invented for the 60s kid. Whether you lived in Sydney, Melbourne, or a sleepy coastal town, the beach was never far away. We'd pile into the family Holden, windows down, with Mum's picnic basket rattling in the boot, and head for the surf. Bondi, St Kilda, or Surfers Paradise. Every beach was a playground. We'd spend hours building sandcastles, dodging jellyfish, and perfecting our body surfing technique. All while turning as red as a lobster because sunscreen was about as common as a snowstorm in Darwin. Back then, the beach wasn't just a place, it was a lifestyle. We didn't have iPads or Netflix to keep us indoors. Our entertainment was the ocean, a cricket bat, and a few mates. And let's not forget the local milk bar, where we'd pool our pocket money for a Chico roll or a Sunny Boy ice block. Sure, we occasionally stepped on a rusty nail or got stung by a blue bottle, but those were badges of honour. The beach taught us freedom, resilience, and the fine art of shaking sand out of our togs before Mum noticed. 2. Music was our rebellion. The 60s in Australia brought a soundtrack that still makes our hearts skip a beat. The Beatles were blasting from every transistor radio, and local legends like Johnny O'Keefe and the Easy Beats had us jiving in our living rooms. We'd save up for 45s at the record shop, carefully placing them on the family radiogram, hoping Dad wouldn't yell about that blasted noise. Music was our rebellion, but it was a polite one. None of this head-banging nonsense the kids do today. Saturday nights meant local dances at the town hall, where we'd attempt the twist or the stomp, usually with more enthusiasm than skill. Girls in beehive hairdos and boys in stovepipe pants would shuffle awkwardly, stealing glances and hoping for a slow dance to Cold Joy's latest hit. And who could forget the thrill of sneaking a peek at Countdown on the telly, with Molly Meldrum introducing bands we'd never heard of. Music wasn't just entertainment, it was our escape, our identity, and a chance to dream of something bigger than our suburban backyards. 3. The Great Australian Dream was affordable. In the 60s, the Great Australian Dream wasn't just a catchy phrase, it was achievable. A quarter-acre block with a brick veneer house was within reach for most families, even if Dad was a tradie and Mum stayed home with the kids. We'd watch our parents sign papers for a house in the suburbs, complete with a Hills hoist and a lemon tree out back. Mortgage repayments were about as stressful as choosing between Milo and Ovaltine. Our homes were modest, but filled with love and the smell of Mum's Sunday roast. The backyard was our kingdom, where we'd play backyard cricket, dodge the sprinkler, or build cubby houses out of old packing crates. Neighbours knew each other, and you could leave your front door unlocked without worrying about someone nicking your telly. Sure, the houses weren't flashy, but they were ours, and they gave us a sense of security today's generation can only dream of, unless their dream includes avocado toast and $1 million shoebox apartment. 4. School was simple, strict, and fun. School in the 60s was a different beast. We walked or rode our bikes, rain or shine, with our leather satchels bouncing against our backs. Teachers were like drill sergeants, wielding the cane or a stern glare that could make you confess to crimes you didn't commit. But somehow it worked. We learned our times tables, recited poetry, and wrote essays in cursive without a computer in sight. Spell check? That was called paying attention in class. Recess was the highlight, with games of British Bulldog or marbles in the schoolyard. Lunch was a Vegemite sandwich wrapped in wax paper, and if you were lucky, a slice of lamington from the tuck shop. School fairs were the social event of the year, with homemade jams and dodgy ring toss games. And who could forget the annual sports carnival, where we'd run barefoot on the oval, hoping to win a ribbon for the 100-yard dash. School taught us discipline, but it also gave us camaraderie and memories that still make us chuckle. 5. Life was an adventure without gadgets. The 60s were a time when imagination ruled. Without smartphones or video games, we made our own fun. We'd climb trees, explore the bush, or turn an old cardboard box into a spaceship bound for the moon. Saturday mornings meant cartoons on a black and white telly, but by lunchtime, we were outside, tearing around on our bikes or building billy carts that were more enthusiasm than engineering. Half the time, they fell apart, but that was part of the adventure. We'd spend hours at the local creek, catching tadpoles or dodging yabbies that pinched harder than your little brother. Parents didn't hover like they do now. They'd shoo us out the door with a "be back by dinner" and trust we wouldn't fall into too much mischief. Sure, we got into scrapes, skinned knees, bee stings, or the occasional run-in with a grumpy magpie, but those were the stories we'd tell for years. Life was raw, real, and gloriously unplugged. Wyatt was the best. Looking back, the 60s in Australia were a perfect blend of freedom, community, and just enough chaos to keep things interesting. We didn't have much, but we had enough. Enough mates, enough space, and enough dreams to fill a lifetime. The world wasn't perfect. We had our share of challenges, from the Vietnam War to social changes bubbling under the surface. But as kids, we were too busy living to notice. Today, when we see kids glued to screens or stressing about likes on social media, we can't help but feel a bit smug. We had it good, no, we had it great. We grew up in an Australia where life was an open-ended adventure, where a sunburn was a rite of passage, and where the only algorithm was how many lamingtons you could eat before mum noticed. So here's to the 60s, to the boomers who lived it, and to the memories that still make us smile like a kid with a pocket full of pocket money.